You're listening to the Cyberwire Network, powered by N2K.
The IT world used to be simpler. You only had to secure and manage environments that you controlled. Then came new technologies and new ways to work. Now, employees, apps, and networks are everywhere. This means poor visibility, security gaps, and added risk. That's why Cloudflare created the first-ever connectivity cloud. Visit cloudflare.com to protect your business everywhere you do business. UnitedHealth's CEO testimony before Congress reveals details of the massive data breach. Major U.S. mobile carriers are hit with hefty fines for sharing customer data. Muddling Meerkat manipulates DNS. A report from Sophos says ransomware payments skyrocketed this past year. The DOE addresses risks and benefits of AI. LightSpy malware targets macOS. A crucial Kansas City weather and traffic system is disabled by a cyberattack. A Canadian pharmacy chain shuts down temporarily following a cyberattack. Our guest, Kayla Williams, Chief Information Security Officer from Devo, joins us to share CISO insights into the pressure of their roles they feel mounting on them and gives us a look into their plans for RSAC 2024. And pay attention, that AWS meter may be running. It's Tuesday, April 30th, 2024. I'm Dave Bittner, and this is your CyberWire Intel Briefing. UnitedHealth CEO Andrew Whitty provided a detailed account of the February ransom attack on its subsidiary Change Healthcare during a House subcommittee hearing. Whitty explained that the attack began when hackers used stolen credentials to access an unprotected Citrix portal used by Change Healthcare for remote employee access to their internal network. Critically, this portal did not have multi-factor authentication enabled, a security lapse that facilitated the unauthorized access. Once inside the system, the hackers utilized sophisticated techniques to move laterally across the network and extracted data over the following days. The situation escalated 9 days after the initial breach on February 21st, when the hackers deployed ransomware. In response, UnitedHealth was forced to shut down its network to contain the breach. The cyberattack had severe financial repercussions, costing UnitedHealth over $870 million in the first quarter alone, despite the company's substantial revenue of nearly $100 billion during the same period. UnitedHealth confirmed that it had paid a ransom to the attackers, known as Ransom Hub, to prevent further distribution of the stolen data. Ransom Hub, which is the second gang to claim responsibility for this attack, had already begun posting portions of the data on the dark web, escalating the threat of wider data misuse. This incident has brought to light significant security shortcomings in the healthcare industry's use of critical IT infrastructure and will likely prompt further investigation into why necessary security measures, such as multi-factor authentication, were not in place. The FCC fined 4 major U.S. mobile carriers, Sprint, T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon, a total of nearly $200 million for selling customer location data without consent. According to the Communications Act, carriers must protect customer information and obtain explicit consent before sharing it. The FCC found that these carriers continued to sell sensitive location data to third parties through aggregators, even after realizing that safeguards were inadequate. This practice persisted despite the carriers being aware of unauthorized access incidents, including a case where a Missouri sheriff used such data to track individuals without their consent. The investigation and fines are part of broader efforts to hold carriers accountable for data privacy violations. The threat group Muddling Meerkat, linked to Chinese state-sponsored actors, has been manipulating DNS systems globally since October 2019, with increased activity in September of 2023. This group notably alters MX records via China's Great Firewall, introducing fake DNS responses, a new tactic for China's internet censorship system. Discovered by Infoblox, the exact intentions of Muddling Meerkat remain unclear, but the operations reflect a high level of sophistication in DNS manipulation. This activity involves creating DNS noise and possibly mapping network vulnerabilities to prepare for future attacks, showing advanced capabilities in testing and disrupting global DNS infrastructures. According to the Sophos The State of Ransomware 2024 report, average ransom payments skyrocketed by 500% over the past year, reaching $2 million per incident, up from $400,000 the previous year. Despite a slight decrease in the frequency of ransomware attacks, from 66% of organizations affected in 2023 to 59% in 2024, ransom demands have become significantly steeper, with 63% exceeding $1 million and 30% surpassing $5 million. Although fewer organizations are being targeted, those hit face more severe financial demands. Additionally, recovery from ransomware attacks has become costlier and more prolonged, with average recovery expenses rising to $2.7 million and fewer companies recovering within a week compared to the previous year. The U.S. Department of Energy released a report assessing the potential benefits and risks of artificial intelligence in critical energy infrastructure. As the Sector Risk Management Agency for the U.S. energy sector, the DOE highlights AI's potential to significantly enhance security, reliability, and resilience across the sector. However, it also identifies the need for updated, risk-aware best practices for AI's safe and secure deployment. The report details 10 AI applications and 4 risk categories, including unintentional failures and adversarial attacks. The DOE plans ongoing engagement with energy sector stakeholders to refine AI strategies and ensure resilient and secure energy systems. This effort aligns with broader federal initiatives to manage AI risks and leverage its advantages responsibly. The resurgence of LightSpy malware, now targeting macOS devices, has raised alarms in the cybersecurity community. Originally known in 2020 for infecting iOS devices, the new variant specifically compromises Apple's desktop operating system. Discrepancies between BlackBerry's initial findings and Huntress's subsequent report highlight this shift. Huntress has confirmed that the malware's binaries are compiled for the x86-64 architecture, typical for macOS, not the ARM architecture used in iPhones. This variable exhibits more sophisticated operational security and advanced malware capabilities compared to its iOS counterpart. Security enhancements by Apple, including lockdown mode and tighter data access controls, aim to mitigate these risks. Huntress has also provided detection tools and indicators of compromise to help businesses protect against this evolving threat. Last week, the Kansas City Scout system, a crucial bi-state traffic and weather management tool operated by the Departments of Transportation in Missouri and Kansas, was disabled by a cyberattack. This outage occurred during a weekend of severe storms, posing significant risks as the system displays real-time weather and traffic updates on highway signs and through its app and website. Following the attack, all systems, including traffic cameras and message boards, were shut down as a protective measure by the IT team. Restoration efforts are underway, but there is no specified timeline for when services will resume. The disruption has raised concerns about the inability to communicate urgent weather warnings to drivers, complicating safety measures during a critical time. London Drugs, a Canadian pharmacy chain, has temporarily closed all its stores across Western Canada following a cybersecurity incident detected on April 28th. The company has enlisted external cybersecurity experts to help contain the breach and conduct a forensic investigation. Although there is currently no evidence that customer or employee data was compromised, the company has taken extensive measures to secure its network and data. London Drugs has not yet notified authorities, as personal and health information appears to be unaffected. However, they have stated that they will inform impacted individuals and privacy commissioners if the ongoing investigation reveals any compromised personal information. In the meantime, customers with urgent pharmacy needs are advised to contact alternative local pharmacies. Coming up after the break, Kayla Williams, CISO from Devo, joins us to share insights into the pressure of the CISO role. Stay with us.
Managing the requirements for modern security programs is increasingly challenging and time-consuming. Enter Vanta. Vanta gives you one place to centralize and scale your security program. Quickly assess risk, streamline security reviews, and automate compliance for ISO 27001, SOC 2, and more. You can leverage Vanta's market-leading trust management platform to unify risk management and secure the trust of your customers. Plus, use Vanta AI to save time when completing security questionnaires. CyberWire Daily listeners can get $1,000 off by going to vanta.com/cyber. That's VANTA.com/cyber.
In the dynamic world of enterprise security, identity architects and IT leaders face a major challenge. Growth by repeated acquisitions multiplies the complexity of everything. Multiple IDPs, MFA providers, policy engines that all need to coexist. This can lead to fragmented user identities and policies that create security vulnerabilities and add access friction. Strata Identity solves this. Now you can decommission unneeded IDPs and consolidate the ones you'd like to keep without rewriting apps or disrupting users, engineers, and app owners. Plus, Strata's modular architecture makes it easy to integrate with any identity provider without manual maintenance and coding. Join the ranks of cybersecurity leaders using identity orchestration. Visit strata.io/cyberwire, share your top identity security priorities, and receive a pair of complimentary AirPods Pro. Offer valid for organizations with over 5,000 employees. Step into a new era of identity management at strata.io/cyberwire. Kayla Williams is Chief Information Security Officer from Devo. I recently spoke with her about the pressure of the CISO role and what can be done about it.
Devo has been laser-focused on stopping cybersecurity burnout and enabling CISOs and their teams to tackle the biggest hurdles in our industry. We published this Modern CISO, an essential guide for CISO success back, I think, this past Tuesday, which was really, really exciting. We've been in this game for quite a number of years now, and speaking from my own personal experience, burnout and the feeling of just constantly fighting fires is why we felt it was important for CISOs and their teams to understand that they're not alone and that this isn't normal to feel this way.
Well, let's dig into some of the information that you gathered here. I mean, some of this is quite striking.
Yeah, it is. You know, we surveyed 200 CISOs at enterprise-sized organizations. So that being said, that's like $500 million or more in revenue. And 32% of the CISO surveyed think about leaving their roles. That's a startlingly high number. I was actually really shocked about that. And I really think it has a close tie to the changes in the SEC rules and the recent lawsuits that we've seen filed against CISOs of some very large, well-known organizations.
And to that point, you all gathered information on what CISOs are doing to kind of protect themselves.
Yeah, some of them are obtaining indemnification agreements with their organizations, and that's about 52% of our respondents. So more than half have started to look in that direction and to ask their organizations how they can be protected more. And furthermore, 47% of our respondents asked their organizations to actually provide personal liability insurance and other cyber liability policies, and that's a striking number as well.
Yeah. Well, let's go beyond some of the numbers here and talk about this ebook that you all put out. This is titled The Modern CISO, An Essential Guide for CISO Success. You really are focusing on this notion of burnout here and the stresses that CISOs experience. What are you hoping that people take away from the book?
That this is not normal and that it is okay to feel the way that you're feeling, but there are mechanisms in place to help you, and that, we're partnering with a company called CyberMinds. Again, this is our third year partnering with them. They're a not-for-profit organization. They're focused on delivering cyber-informed mental resilience services to help boost team morale. And I've actually been through parts of the program, and it really helps to calm your body. So we're not just sitting here pointing out all the things that are going wrong or could possibly go wrong. We're actually giving strategies and suggestions on how you can make it better for yourself and your team. So we really hope that that's taken away.
That's a really interesting insight. I mean, I think for a lot of folks, maybe I'm exaggerating some, but I think you can have this kind of a superhero mindset where there's the pressure that everyone's depending on you, and it's hard to have mental and emotional downtime.
Absolutely. And I think it's actually heightened more since COVID, where there is a blurred line between work and home. They tend to be the same place nowadays, especially in the security industry, where you don't need to be in the office every day. And it becomes almost a fiduciary responsibility to always be on, at least with the people I've spoken to. We're always online and checking out alerts and paying attention to the industry news, trying to be on top of everything so that we can protect our organizations, because we do feel that responsibility.
Is part of this getting that message up to the powers that be at an organization, at the board level, the management level, to let them know that this is a serious issue?
Yes, without a doubt. There is a big disconnect that we found between the leaders at the top of the organization and the boots on ground. And that discrepancy can actually be between the CISO and their own teams and what they're enduring and the workload that they have. The monotony of being in a security operations center, for example, and having hundreds or thousands of alerts firing where not all of them are emergencies. Some of them are false positives, or maybe even the vast majority, depending on how you fine-tuned your alerts or not, takes a lot of work, and it can be exhausting. And feeling that you're not focusing on the items that are the highest risk to your organization can also lead to your burnout. Like, you're not contributing to the end goal and the objectives of the company.
Well, we're coming up on the RSA conference here, and you and your Devo colleagues are kind of putting your money where your mouth is when it comes to your collaboration with CyberMinds and supporting this effort. Can you share with us what you're up to there?
Yes, and I love this. So Devo will be exhibiting at booth number 343. And for every badge scan that we receive, Devo will donate $10 to CyberMinds to help support their mission.
You're also going to be presenting on this topic along with your, I believe, one of your founders, right?
Actually, it's not one of our founders. It's the CyberMinds founder and executive chairman, Peter Koronios. And that's going to be on Tuesday, May 7th. Yeah, so he's actually bringing the neuroscience into our presentation. So it's really fascinating. It's things that, I never thought I would be interested in, but because it ties so closely into how I feel and how my colleagues feel, it's been a learning journey for myself. And it's something that I highly appreciate and learn from Peter every time I speak to him. So I highly recommend coming and checking us out.
So folks should stay tuned in terms of the location for that particular presentation.
Yes, please keep an eye out for our session on the conference agenda. We don't have a room known just yet, but we are one of the earned speaker slots.
Well, it's such an important topic. And I think, there's that old saying that knowledge is power. And I think the more information you can get on this, the more tools you can have in your tool bag to be able to contend with these issues, so you're going to be better off. So tip of the hat to you and your colleagues there at Devo for taking this on head on.
Thank you. We appreciate that. It is a topic near and dear to my heart as well, as I mentioned. So I am really looking forward to the session, and I hope that all of your listeners can come and learn something as well.
That's Kayla Williams from Devo. Hey everybody, today I want to highlight a name that all of us know well, and that is our sponsor, Splunk. You need to keep operations humming around the clock, but potential disruptions are everywhere. Splunk helps you predict problems and find and fix issues fast so you can reduce risk and ditch downtime. The world's largest enterprises rely on Splunk's unified security and observability platform to become more efficient, resilient, and innovative. With Splunk, you can react quickly, evolve faster, and be ready for anything. Stay ahead of disruptions. Learn more at splunk.com/resilience. And we thank Splunk for sponsoring our show. And finally, Maciej Pokwerts, senior software engineer at Symantec, experienced significant frustration when their AWS bill skyrocketed to over $1,300 due to a misunderstanding involving the use of their S3 bucket. They set up a single bucket in the EU West 1 region for a proof of concept, assuming it would remain within the free tier limits. Instead, they found nearly 100 million put requests had been made to their bucket in just one day, most of these from misconfigured instances of a popular open-source tool that had mistakenly used the same bucket name as a default. He discovered that AWS charges for unauthorized requests, which were unexpectedly flooding their bucket from third-party systems. These charges were compounded by the fact that requests without a specified region were defaulting to US East 1, resulting in additional redirection costs. Out of curiosity and an attempt to understand the scale of the issue, they temporarily allowed public writes to the bucket, quickly amassing over 10 gigabytes of random data, which underscored the potential for serious data leaks due to such misconfigurations. They tried to mitigate the problem by reaching out to the maintainers of the open-source tool, the AWS security team, and the owners of the data they accidentally collected. However, responses were minimal or non-existent, adding to their frustration. Although AWS eventually waived the hefty bill as an exception, the ordeal highlighted critical lessons in cybersecurity and AWS usage, including the importance of specifying regions in requests and choosing unique bucket names to avoid similar costly mistakes. This incident was a painful but enlightening experience that exposed vulnerabilities in default configurations and third-party interactions with cloud services. One day you're in the cloud, the next you're thunderstruck by a $1,300 bill.
You've been thunderstruck!
And that's the Cyberwire. For links to all of today's stories, check out our daily briefing at thecyberwire.com. We'd love to know what you think of this podcast. You can email us at cyberwire@n2k.com. N2K Strategic Workforce Intelligence optimizes the value of your biggest investment, your people. We make you smarter about your team while making your team smarter. Learn more at n2k.com. This episode was produced by Liz Stokes. Our mixer is Trey Hester with original music by Elliot Peltzman. Our executive producers are Jennifer Iben and Brandon Karp. Our executive editor is Peter Kilpie, and I'm Dave Bittner. Thanks for listening. We'll see you back here tomorrow. now a word from our sponsor, Netskope. Netskope is a worldwide leader in SASE and Zero Trust. Its unified platform, Netskope One, provides optimized access and Zero Trust security for people, devices, and data anywhere they go, helping customers reduce risk, accelerate performance, and get unrivaled visibility into any cloud, web, and private application activity. To learn more about how Netskope helps customers be ready for anything on their SASE journey, visit netskope.com.